think they had a draft prospect thing. It's like the draft combine they talked about, and probably some other stuff. When is the preview? When can we play? When is the preview? When we can play? What do you mean the preview? What? Motor City, it's not out until next week, bro. Any new come to co-op? I doubt it. Still hit the links. Not as much since I moved away from Texas. Not as much. What's up, Hayden? Appreciate the donut. What's up, John? Schwains, what's going on? All right. I'm gonna shut the music off and listen to them yap. What's up, Kiwi? When did you move from Texas? I hate you. Chat, let me know about volumes and stuff once they start talking so I know if to turn it up or down, okay? I'm gonna need your help with that. If they're louder than me, I need to know. Like, this is definitely louder than me, this music. But once they start talking, let me know if I'm a little above them and stuff like that.
MLB The Show fans, and welcome back to another feature premiere for MLB The Show 24.
Ashley has a little softer voice.
I'm Ashley Sanders from the MLB The Show development team.
Make sure, let me know if you can hear it and all that.
Today, we are diving into some of your favorite MLB The Show modes and highlighting all that's new with tons of new gameplay footage. We know you've been wanting to see more. We'll cover our design direction with Steve Merca and Luis, who will also kick us off.
You're a bit louder than Ashley, W. But you can still hear her clearly and all that?
The show with Merca and Molly. Check out the new Road to the Show Draft Combine Experience with Justin, and we'll be joined by Drew to talk about all
W. All right, keep me updated on volumes and stuff, all right?
If you haven't already, be sure to check out our previous feature premieres with Storylines, the Negro League Season
The lady is
2,
very
and
quiet.
Storylines, Derek Jeter. Check them out now on our YouTube channel. And a huge shout out to all of our fans watching live on Twitch right now, and all of our fans catching up with content with video on demand. We see you and we appreciate.
I just want to make sure. Yeah, she's a touch quieter than you. What about now? Did I do it too much? Did I adjust too much?
Get everybody's feedback in.
That's better. Oh, okay.
Y'all are the real ones.
Well, I want to be louder.
I am joined by design director Merca and design
better. All right,
manager
perfect.
Luis. How are
What's
you?
What's up, T-Can? Welcome on in.
I am great, thank you. How are you?
Doing well, doing well. Luis, how are you?
Pretty
Steve
well.
Merca, I met this
Here
guy.
in the studio, a couple weeks away from launch. It's nice.
It's very exciting. The vibe of the studio, you can just feel the palpableness of
It's
everybody's
perfect.
emotions.
Hood volume.
But of course, before we jump
Good?
into
No, it's gotta be
2024,
hood
let's
volume.
Take a moment to reflect on 2023, Merca.
You know, it was a great year overall. We had some successes and we had some valuable and actionable
CJ
learnings
coming in with
that
a brand
came
new
out.
primer. Welcome on in, bro.
The team worked hard and it showed
What's up,
with award recognitions for Sports Game of the Year.
Oh, dude, I love the scoreboard so much more this year, by the way.
And National Academy of Video Game Trade
I love the
Reviewers.
scoreboard so much more this
We're
year.
very honored to have been.
That's
to
so
receive
clean.
Those rewards, but it sounds like a cliche, but it was great just to be nominated and be there. And we saw the introduction of Negro League storyline and a feature, an experience
West
that
Side
was
Volume.
a long time in the coming. You know, it's a piece of American history.
New
as
Twitch
well
count?
as
I
our
was wondering,
baseball.
bro. I was wondering.
Love those answers.
Is that
Merca.
tech
It's
test?
really
No, this
cool
is the
to see
feature premiere.
Rewards and achievement from those long, tireless hours from the studio, and then of course always learning, always iterating. But speaking of iteration, Luis, what was your biggest takeaway from MLB The Show 23?
Yeah, you just said it. You know, we did a lot of things in 23, and you know, we listened to the community throughout the whole year. We were in tune with what you were saying. We were play testing internally, and that's informing what we're doing for 24. So you know, it's a learning process, and we're just trying to put out the best product that we can. And listening to you is one of our top priorities.
Excellent. I love it.
Thanks,
so
man.
Why not just dive right into it? MLB The Show 24, Diamond Dynasty Seasons. I know we
Guys, the
released
game
a
does not
blog
come
on
out until next
show.com
Thursday
explaining it in all
for early
detail,
access.
But Merca, Luis, what can you tell our fans about this change? What can we expect in 24?
Bandy, the
Well,
problem
the
is
team
they
did a
just
lot of
don't perform well. The ball
strategizing,
doesn't fly
and
well in these stadiums.
They'll have a lot more to
There's
say
there's
about it
also
in their
frame
particular
droppage on like
stream,
the lesser
so I don't
consoles.
steal any thunder, but I will say that they did some retooling and removed the season overlap that we had previously. These seasons last a lot longer, and there is a reintroduction of the power creep, which is the journey from bad to good that everyone loves and expects
Power
in
creep.
this type of a mode experience. And these changes were fed by listening to the community, checking out the forum posts, getting the survey feedback from everyone who participated. Thank you for doing that. And then taking
problem,
all
man.
that and then turning it into the ideas that we would go after this year.
As you've touched on, Steve, it's incredible to see what we can get out from our fans from surveys through theshow.com, the scouting report, community conferences that we host throughout the year. Incredible to receive that feedback, see what we can do to make things better in the future. And then, of course, you have spoken to a lot of fans' hearts when you mentioned the power creep. Luis, what is this power creep?
Will it be a
is
pitch clock?
returning
Not
in
sure.
MLB The Show 24?
At least Diamond Dynasty
Yeah,
was.
so,
I think so in franchise.
case you're not familiar with the term, the power creep basically references the progression you're going to feel going from a low 90s player to 99s, whereas last year, 97s, 99s were available day one. This year, you're going to see that progression from the low 90s to the 99s, and that's going to be replicated each subsequent season. So one of our biggest design goals was to give you that new game feeling multiple times throughout the year. And we're doing that with Season 1, Season 2, Season 3.
Yeah, 100% Rads. It's good to see it, bro. It really is.
How important those surveys are in the show.
Name not uploaded. Appreciate the brand new primer. Welcome on in. Watsy coming in with the brand new Tier 1. Welcome on in. Thank you. The 1 year.
Criticism across the social media platforms or MLBtheshow.com forum posts. And, of course, a huge topic of conversation, especially in both Road to the Show and Diamond Dynasty communities, is what is going to be going on with the centralized ball player, your creative ball player in MLB The Show 24, Mirka.
Okay, so we removed centralized ball player in 23, and we removed and severed the ties to DD. So you do not face Joe Randoms in DD.
Wait,
I
W!
can't emphasize it enough that these are two separate modes. So everything you do with your created ball player in Road to the Show is only in Road to the Show. And that offline experience remains sacred. We did this as a means to also help us set up for the future when we can do a lot more.
You heard it here first. Road to the Show is its own separate mode from Diamond Dynasty. Create a ball player will not be in Diamond Dynasty. Mirka, it's excellent to work on a team willing to experiment, see what that ball player provided throughout the Diamond Dynasty experience over the last couple of years, and then go into this new direction to keep building off of it. Awfully exciting. And then another exciting part that everybody is talking about across social media is gameplay. They want to see gameplay. They want to know what it's looking like in MLB The Show 24. Mirka, what can you tell us? What can fans expect?
Well, gameplay has been trending, in a good spot, and it feels good for the most part, but there's always tweaking that can be done. And our gameplay crew, Chris Gill and company,
No Caps is such a big W. Live streaming on Thursday? Yeah, I'll be streaming all night once the game comes out.
They are listening to community feedback and seeing what wins we can get along the way, where we can get them. The power creep will certainly manifest in our gameplay with silver and gold teams playing as one might expect. But however,
the sinker pinpoint.
The big fun addition to me has been defensive moments, and these are inspired by the Jeter storylines, and these are quick time events, and I like to call them quick time.
That's tough.
Events. They're fun and they offer a lot of
throwing sinkers is gonna be hard this year, bro.
Experiences making like the corner positions feel unique.
What's up, Ron?
Outfield with the intensity of diving and robbing home runs feels really good. And I play catcher personally every Sunday, go brunch, and I'm playing catcher in our game regularly. And the plays at home have been really fun, and fielding pop flies and making tags. So, you'll find these in Road to Show, and they're highly addictive.
Defensive moments are such a fantastic addition to the game this year. As I'm playing through storylines, Derek Jeter, as I'm playing with my ball player, Road to the Show, I see these moments start. My heart rate immediately kicks up, and I'm high focused.
You just got to practice, Ron. I wish it was something easier, but it's just practice.
Everything is different. There's always something to keep me on edge, keep me excited, and that is something fans are going to love to experience in just a few days. Luis, anything you'd like to add for gameplay?
No, just that I'm excited that we got gameplay to such a great spot, and so we're starting off on the right foot there through just years of polish, and keep an eye out for something that Steve mentioned. With the power creep, quote unquote, returning, you might see a little bit of a different feel at the early in a season as opposed to late in the season. More variety there.
Alrighty, that is the game of baseball. Now, for fans wanting to see even more of these gameplay changes, feel free to check out the blog on theshow.com detailing everything gameplay. And then, of course, if you want to see it come to life, tune into our dev tourney on March 13th, where we will be playing all day long, and we'll be talking about these gameplay changes while seeing them happen in game, and of course, highlighting a bunch of other things added in MLB The Show 24. So tune in on March 13th, and then we'll dive deeper into this when Molly joins us from the Road to the Show design.
When does the game drop? Next Thursday.
Moment to celebrate in MLB The Show
Thursday night.
24s for the
Friday
first
midnight
time
Eastern,
ever
you know.
in an MLB affiliated video game. We will have playable women ball players. Mirka, Luis, this is a
Joanna
huge
Random.
addition
Nice.
to an MLB The Show 24 game. Major round of applause. How are you feeling with this new addition to MLB The Show? What does it mean to baseball and baseball fans?
New Zealand
Luis,
doesn't
we'll
work
kick it
for
off
this
with
stuff,
you.
Travis.
It's just so momentous. We've been building toward this for years, and this is the first year you're going to see it, you're going to play it, and we've improved the narrative experience in Road to the Show, because really, what does it come down to? If you're going to be the first woman player in the majors, then you're going to hit all these milestones that are going to be huge. And the way you pay that off is through that narrative experience. So yeah, this is just really exciting. It's a great narrative experience, and I can't wait for everyone to play it.
I get goosebumps. I get chills each and every time I think about it and talk about it. When we mentioned it just a moment ago, every hair stood up on my body. I was like, oh my God, this is a thing. This is real.
It's pretty cool.
I don't think momentous is the right word. I think we even need bigger words. Can we invent one? Because here's the thing I think about it too. It's not that it's brand new in the sense of we see it.
And yeah, I figured out how to go live on Twitch, YouTube, YouTube Shorts, and TikTok at the same time as recording face cam separately.
Career mode where it's in fully integrated experience. This is a career mode. You make your way through.
Oh my God, I can't believe it's working.
The minors, you make your way to the show. You create that. You're on your way to the Hall of Fame, and you're making an impact.
If only it still existed, Drew.
This hasn't really been done, so this is kind of.
Well, from Chicago, what's up, Chi-Town boy?
How do we navigate this? And it's been just a crazy experience. And when we
home run with 37 powers.
She's gonna fill you in. It'd be great. I don't want to take anything in that space. I can't speak to it, but all I can say is somebody who's been close to it, as somebody in the passenger seat riding along, I've had nothing but the greatest experience in just riding along with this.
It's hard.
Omega got shut down, bro.
Goosebumps. It's hard not to be emotional because of what this means to our baseball community, to our fans. The future starts here, Mirka and Luis. Anything you would like to leave our fans with?
Yeah, we got plans. We got a ton of plans. As a matter of fact, we're putting together what our North Star looks like. Where do we want this product to go? And we've created a direction. And there's no shortage. I mean, what does it look like 5, 7, 10 years out? We've been mapping this. We're starting to kind of get an idea. We want to set the flag out there, and we know where we're going. And from that, you'll see every decision we make is going to be driven by that. And every part of our game deserves love, and every part of our game will get love. And the North Star map dictates that will happen. From everything when we're thinking about deeper mode depth and experience in that part of it, to play the game your way. We want everything to be purposeful.
They're going to talk about franchising this.
Have a vision and a direction.
Mirka, you touched on it beautifully.
Dude, they're dropping W's today. I'm not going to lie.
To experience that in MLB The Show.
The last feature premiere I watched was ass. This is W.
In this feature premiere, we're going to let our fans dive into it right away as we transition to talk about franchise.
Here we go.
Luis,
Here we go. Come on.
What are all the franchise updates coming this year? What is the big point to take away here?
So there's a few, but let's start with playing your way. We know that 162 games is quite a big investment in franchise. More likely than not, you're going to have to simulate some games. So, we want you to play your way. And so based on these two thoughts, we're introducing custom game entry to franchise. What is this? So this is basically just a group of conditions that you set that determine when you're going to go in and jump into gameplay.
Are you fucking serious?
As you're simulating. So the two main conditions are situation importance, and that's basically for the stat-savvy fans. We're talking about leverage index here, which, determines how important, how critical a play is, and innings as well. So, let's just talk about an example. Let's say you only want to play the most pivotal moments of a season. You set a very high situation importance. You set the 9th inning, the 8th inning, and you're typically going to be coming in with, the bases with the winning or tying runners on base. Conversely, though, you can go to the other extreme, and let's say you want to have a more more traditional experience and the same amount of innings per game that you're playing. You can set your situation importance to be low. Come in the 6th or 7th inning, you're basically turning franchise into a 3-inning mode instead of a 9-inning mode. So player choice doesn't end once you come into a game. Let's say the game hasn't been
the flashbang of the menus is tough. I'm not gonna lie.
Half inning when you came in. Well, then you'll have the choice of simulating until your conditions are met again, or just play the rest of the game. And of course, you'll have your full suite of options there in franchise, which quick manage, fast forward to, as I said, play your way. Last point I'll make is that the last condition in custom game entry is player highlight moments. And so for our longtime fans, these are
we might do a stream franchise this year. I'm not going to lie.
Critical situations. And basically, we're going to prompt you to come into the game in big situations like finishing off no-hitters or cycles and, situations with tying or winning runners on base as well.
Essentially, you create your own version of March to October, it seems like.
Play your style, Luis, from our hardcore fans who want to experience the full 162 games of a season to our fans who just want to jump into those higher leverage situations, and then, of course, just having that flexibility to have any and every situation in between. It is truly up to our fans to experience and play their most.
Did Aroldis Chapman just look funky there when he threw that?
And then let's keep it going with these franchise updates. We saw the amateur draft was such a cool addition to franchise last year. Mirko, what can fans expect for this year?
Boy, that's correct. We implemented amateur draft in 23, and we continued to polish it and work on it through the course of the 23 cycle as you played.
Yeah.
And that's the approach we want to take for all of our features. We don't want to just ship a feature because we can always improve it. We can always make it better. And that doesn't mean
guys are enjoying watching this stuff. Make sure you guys are liking the stream. Helps out a ton.
It's a complete playable experience, but we can always make it better. And we don't want to leave any feature behind. We will continue to always
generational talents, late bloomers, draft lottery updates, player card updates.
And just in case you missed it, Steve was talking about it, but we provided quite a few updates to amateur draft throughout the 23 cycle, such as generational talents, late bloomers. Those deal with the prospects that you're scouting and drafting. We also added UI improvements such as the draft lottery screen, pitch types in the amateur player card. So a bunch of stuff was patched in. Let's talk about 24, though. So few more additions this year. We're starting with improved logic dealing with undrafted and unsigned prospects. So basically, these prospects are progressing in between drafts, simulating the experience that these players would get from playing in college and then being eligible for the draft the following year. We also improved the prospect draft logic for injured players. Basically, there's an inherent risk with injury with these players, and so these players would end up sliding down draft boards.
Sets are gone. There's power creep back in multiple seasons.
Presents an interesting decision for you as the player as well. Do you want to take the risk of
I'm actually optimistic about it if you're curious.
Injury risk, but if you hit, you've got an amazing prospect on your hands. We also added the prospect promotion incentive. It's a little bit of a mouthful. That's PPI for short. Basically, it's a new rule in the majors that encourages teams to promote their best prospects for draft pick compensation. So there's criteria for this to be triggered. Basically, being top 3 in the MVP, Cy Young, winning Rookie of the Year. So these are the things that trigger that compensation. And we've also added a screen that helps you track what players are eligible for PPI.
Our fans can keep expecting more and more nuanced ways to experience the amateur draft. It's incredible to keep seeing these iterations, Luis. And then, of course, our hardcore fans are going to be incredibly pumped for this newest feature, Player Card Awards tabs, Luis.
Yeah, longtime fans, I'm sure they're going
I
to be
don't
pleased.
like this UI.
You know, you're going to finally be able to see awards in the player card. And these
Okay,
will be
that's
tracked
cool.
throughout your experience in
I
franchise.
like that.
And even awards that the player has won before this year will show up. So you know that Mike Trout, his page is just going to be stacked. And last but not least, we added a cool new feature for the hardcore, which is basically the ability to start your franchise with a roster that reflects all the latest real-life injuries. So, as an example, you're going to come in, you're going to see Jacob deGrom on the IL, Jason Dominguez, and, this is just a cool new wrinkle for people to, start their franchise in the most realistic way.
Yeah, I don't want to be flashbanged looking at the
Awards,
fucking
more
player
reflective
cards every time.
rosters. There's a lot for our fans to grasp and experience in franchise this year. This has been absolutely amazing. Luis, anything else you would like to say or give a shout out to?
Well, yeah, shout out to Clayton and the team for for putting in all the work this year. This is a great
Are you
offering
hyped?
for franchise.
Actually, watching this feature premiere, I'm a lot more hyped
I'm just
than
really
I was.
excited for people to get their hands on it. I know that more than any of the previous past few years in the franchise, I really can't decide what I'm going to sink my teeth into once the game comes out. But just really excited for you to get your hands on it.
Thank
Me
you so
too.
much, Luis. We'll catch you next time. And Mirka, you'll hang around for our next segment.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Women have been a part of baseball for as long as men, playing, coaching, and being fans. And now in MLB The Show 24, we are
Why does this
excited
look like
to add
it's in
women as a
720p?
playable ball player in Road to the Show.
Not even,
I'm happy
like,
to have Molly from the
360p.
Road to the Show team join us. Molly, hello, welcome. How are you? And please introduce yourself to our fans.
Thanks, Ashley. I am so stoked to be here. And hello to everyone
No,
listening.
Caleb.
My name is Molly, and I'm a narrative game designer on the Road to the Show team here at San Diego Studio.
And I'm back. This is Steve, the design director of MLB The Show. I'm happy to be sitting next to this lady, as she's an incredible new additive to our team.
It's wonderful to have you both here today.
Appreciate it,
we'll
Ghost.
be diving into a project that I am both personally and professionally beyond excited about. For the first time ever in a Major League Baseball affiliated video game, we will have playable women ball players. In our first feature premiere, we were all introduced to Tony Stone in Storylines, the Negro League Season 2, and now we will also see women in Road to the Show. Molly, what does this mean to you?
Honestly, it means the world to me. While I'm not an athlete myself, I did play lots of sports as a kid, and mostly grew up just loving video games, but rarely seeing
More
women
shadows
or
in the game
girls
for
on
sure. You think
screen,
so?
Especially the sports games that my cousins played and I love to watch. There have been huge changes
By the way,
in
Dan, what's up, bro?
representation for the industry recently, and I'm so honored to have a part in continuing that journey and hopefully inspiring positive change that extends beyond video games and beyond our game.
I couldn't agree more. Growing up playing video games as well as baseball, it was very difficult to find myself represented. And I remember a meeting I had with lead animator Chris Clements and then Molly Sirota from our player research team, like way back in 2021, just discussing what this edition could look like in the game, what would it all entail.
What do you mean,
the
AB, bro?
amount of conversation that went into this mode was awfully exciting and powerful to be a part of. And then Mirka, overseeing this project, how
In a
important
pickle? Why are
was
you
this
in a pickle?
initiative for you?
I mean, I'll just say that it was important for the studio. Like, it was very much backed by the studio.
Guys, if you're enjoying the stream, make sure you do leave a like on it. It helps out a ton.
We
Thank
wanted
you.
to do this. It wasn't a question of if, it was a
Like
question
and subscribe.
of when can we? When will we? And so that very passionate group of people that came together to kind of start.
Oh,
the
that
charge for
that
this,
pinpoint, the moving there for the throw.
really laid the groundwork.
Looks like you have to be
for
more
us
precise.
get to this moment, and we wanted to provide.
Ask me after the
representation
feature
for
premiere is
so many
over, AB, bro.
people,
I'll talk about
so
it.
many different people to play our game. The ability to find themselves inside of this game. So, baseball's for everyone, and that was a driving force for us here.
This project has been a long time coming, and a lot of time and care has gone into it to not only accurately represent women ball players, but to also honor past, current,
24
and
is basically
future
just a
women
DLC.
baseball
I
players.
disagree. I
Can you
think
both
that
speak
this
to all
game
that was
is
added to make
a
this
lot of
come to
potential.
life?
And usually I'm a little
As
pessimistic on
Steve
this type
mentioned,
of
the
stuff.
initiative sort of set the foundation, and I joined the studio afterwards, and so much had already been done by the time I got there, and had so many resources to work with. So we had interviews,
At least I'm in Dynasty
studies,
wise, I'm really
anecdotes, and
excited about it.
histories involving women who span generations, roles, and experiences, all within the sport of baseball.
Jay, appreciate the heart, me.
And so to me, always referring back to that source and to them was key to
Fair point, Jake.
respectfully and authentically representing them in their experiences.
I'm going to be hopeful, considering, you know,
and so
I have to play this, you know, to pay my bills.
Design choice that
I prefer not to be depressed all year.
And I also had the incredible
At least give me 3 months of happiness, you know what I mean?
Who, if you don't know her, she is so cool. She's a pitcher and outfielder for the Staten Island Ferry Hawks.
I just don't like the sets.
She and I
Sets are
worked
gone.
on some of the new motion capture scenes, as well as a handful of new dialogue scenes as well, to make sure that we were staying true to that vision throughout. And I encourage everyone listening to check her out. Her story is awesome. She's a killer player, and she's an amazing advocate for herself and for women in baseball in general.
Yeah, I agree. It was awesome to meet Kelsey. I had that chance, that opportunity as well, and it was just something else. And it was great to even meet the other women who provided their input to us. And to be honest with you, I was kind of starstruck when I met most of them. I'm like, wow, I'm actually talking to these people, or I'm in the same room with them.
I'm in denial.
It's like, it's pretty impressive.
As you mentioned, Merca, especially earlier in this feature,
no caps and power creep coming back will save this game, dude. I'm pumped, and we're getting multiple power creeps.
Represented throughout baseball history that we're
getting multiple power creeps. We're getting the original one at the beginning of the year, right? And then once season 1 is over, and we go to season 2, then there's a new power creep.
Follow her journey and see what it takes.
It's almost like the excitement of day 1 might come back. You know what I mean?
And of course, just inspiring young baseball fans and players alike. And of course, as we take in this feedback from all these conversations,
but you still get 4 wild cards
really
this year.
Inform and structure this mode. We know that character customization was a huge topic of conversation.
Power creep, Travis. Like your team starts out bad and then you build it, like in previous years, unlike this year.
Exactly how they're going to be able to customize their player.
What's a power creep?
Molly,
I just said it. There you go. You heard it.
When they create their ball player.
Honestly, there's a lot. I don't want to give too much away, but one of my favorites are all of the new hairstyles that we have added for all players in the game, including the addition of new protective hairstyles, which is really, really cool. One of my favorite
you have better receding hairline hairstyles?
Is also the hair physics. So whether you are rocking a mullet or some long braids or whatever it is, your hair is
I got to show off my horn of destiny
with every play, which is just so fun to watch. And we also added so many more recorded first and last names and some fun nicknames. So shout out to our sound team for that. Because it's just awesome to hear your name in game. It is just so cool. And I'm really, really looking forward to more players being able to have that experience, myself included.
On top of the incredible hair physics that will be seen throughout MLB The Show 24, Merca, just like Molly, I know you're pumped about the new hair physics as well as the range of color customization.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you're talking to somebody who's had purple,
flashbang,
red, like bright red.
All right, we're good.
Blue hair. Yeah, now it's gray, but I get to relive some of those.
I hate the UI, bro. It's a flashbang, bro.
It's actually really cool. It seems small, but it's so cool once you put it in action.
As a leader of the Ponytail Club, to have my hair represented meant the world.
Did they get rid of caps? Yes.
Mode for the first time, and of course, with all the different diverse hairstyles that we have, the constant iterations are amazing to just better, accurately represent our player base. And then with the integration of women ball players, how does this compare with the road to the show that all of our fans already know and
love? Have a good lift.
At its core, it is the same road to the show that you know and love, but with some really awesome upgrades, and the experience between the male road to the show and the female road to the show experience are the same. You know, it is about being a ball player. You start from the bottom.
No online franchise. Did they already do a premiere on Diamond Dynasty? That is next Thursday, a couple hours before the game comes out.
That has not changed.
You are a ball player, period. Throughout this experience, our fans will notice that our ball player is experiencing her journey to the show alongside her friend Mia Lewis. Molly, I know this is a huge part of your design work. What went into this decision?
Comes out next Thursday night for early access.
Journey?
Yeah, that's a great question. So, you know, Road to the Show has not had a buddy character before. And so,
how hard can you?
You know, if we did it, there was a real reason for it, and it was really going to be impactful. So, Mia Lewis is a side character that we added to the female Road to the Show experience, really to demonstrate the importance of community and camaraderie amongst women in the sport. This was something that we learned that was incredibly important to the players, coaches, and managers we interviewed. And
might break my hand.
We also want to use Mia for what she can show us is that a woman's path through the sport can and does look very, very different depending on the person. And so because of this, you'll encounter many unique scenes with Mia in the female Road to the Show experience, and her career will evolve alongside yours, but it could look different. So the experience that you have and the relationship you form with Mia could look very different than what your friend's experience is. And that dynamic nature is really cool.
Yeah, I'm gonna just add one thing. I want to mention something that you previously said, Molly, if you don't mind, while you were pitching this idea of the friend and everything. Because again, we've never done it before, so we were kind of like, "Ooh, how is this gonna work?" And to give you a friend. But something you said really struck
I
with
want a
me, or
friend.
stuck really, really close to
Can
me,
I have a
was that,
friend?
you women are not a monolith, right? In that sense, that we didn't want to paint that picture, alone, because it's a very
No,
different
Madden. We'll find
experience.
that out next Thursday.
Along with the support you would get from coaches and your players on the team, there was having somebody who understood exactly what you were going through, which resonated. And it's like, go on, tell me more. So it's like you built this, you and the team built such a really cool experience around that. It really pays off that idea of, I'm in this situation. Where's an additional touchstone that has something of meaning? There's
Mm,
also the idea that
ours.
the concept you put in there, there's this underlying bit of tension or drama that's not negative. It's just it exists along with this supportive overarching experience that there's no telling which one of you gets to the majors first. And I thought that was really good too. So I thought that was a nice little nuance that was added
Friend?
to
I'm
it.
not
So
familiar
again,
with that term. Dude,
kudos
same.
to Molly and the team for really bringing this together.
As you both said so incredibly intricately,
That's
every
interesting.
baseball journey is different but the same, and the root similarity is having that support system. As we know, making it to the show is a huge grind, and practically every baseball story is attributed to some sort of a support system. And then, of course, as
Yeah, I'm
our
not
ball
sure into
player
house.
continues
We'll
her
see.
story alongside her friend Mia Lewis, we
I
will
would
also
assume if
have
we
our
get it, it
cast
would
of
be
new
next
and
Monday
returning MLB
or
Network
Tuesday
talent.
or
We have
Wednesday
Sarah Lings, Lauren Shahadi,
or
Melanie
Thursday.
Newman, Robert Flores, Carlos Pena,
Probably
and
not
Dan
after that.
O'Dowd, and they will all be featured throughout the Road to the Show
Whoa, whoa,
experience
whoa,
in their MLB Network
whoa!
segments. What can fans expect in their journey to the big leagues when it
Okay,
comes to the MLB Network
that's
integration, Molly?
interesting.
Oh man, this is something our whole team is
So,
really
Mikey.
excited about. We have a ton of new MLB Network content for both the male and the female Road to the Show experiences. Because what we really heard from players is that you love being talked about. You like feeling important and like you are in the game. And so we really wanted to mimic that as much as possible, inject as much of that as possible. So your major accomplishments will be talked about. Like you feel like a star. And one of the coolest ways we use these MLB Network videos and the female Road to the Show experience is also to comment on Mia's career and your relationship
The
with her.
fielding
So
stuff
there's
is
that
kind of
added
cool. I'm
bit
not
of
gonna lie.
relevance that gives like substance to that relationship, which is just
Makes it
really
not
fun to
just
see.
automatic like it used to be.
Yeah,
I fuck with
I
the
tell
Road to
you
the
what,
Show
it's been
fielding
great
shit
to
right
see
here. I love
more
this.
additional personalities get added from our network partners, and it gives us
It's pretty
fresh
dope.
voices, fresh stories, different
What's up,
perspectives,
Dragon Slayer?
nice tone and tenor changes. I mean, it's
Bro, I'm
really
gonna
nice.
commit
It's a
so
good
many errors
additive.
with that. Yeah,
It's
facts.
definitely a good additive.
Facts.
As Sarah Lings always says, baseball is the best.
Not in
This
the
is a
game
truly
before.
incredible addition
Well, the main
to
legend
this
I want is
road.
Alex
And then,
Rodriguez,
of
but
course,
obviously
with
he
our
was in it when he was
talented MLB
playing.
Network crew, we have many voices detailing our ball players' journey. How important is it for not only women talking about women,
Some
we
stuff,
have
user.
the likes of Lings and Newman and Shahadi, but also the male allyship that comes with talking about these women's stories? Mirka, we'll kick it off with you.
Oh, I mean, that's a big one, right? It's extremely important. Allyship is
Like the
what it's
Bigs
going to
game when you
take
have
to
the quick
help
time
move
event.
things forward, to
Gotcha.
normalize things, right? It's yes, this is new, but it should be the norm. It should be what we expect every day when we get up and we get involved with baseball. It's huge. Having that support is again uh, foundational to any progress we want to make at all. So that's my take.
Yeah, Steve, and I think you said it perfectly. For real change to happen and stick, it's important for everyone, but especially in this case, men and boys, to see other men uplifting women and treating them as the equals they are. If you can play, you can play.
Exactly.
A ball player is a ball player at the end of the day. What do you want our fans to
Hope
take
so,
away
Madden.
from this conversation?
I really just want any fan to feel that there's a space for them here. There's a space for you here and an experience that is fun, meaningful, and inspiring, because that's what baseball is.
Yeah, I'll just add that baseball's inclusive. Baseball's for everyone. Everybody should be able to find themselves in their favorite baseball game, which is ours. So we should be able to provide that. You should be able to find yourself and just enjoy playing the game.
I cannot wait for our fans to dive into this experience.
But no
Before we
college?
go,
I
is
assume
there
not.
anyone you would like to thank? Molly, we'll start with you.
Just all the women in my life, the grandmothers, aunts, my mom, my sister, my friends, who were my Mia Lewis's and who inspired me to make games like this. And especially to the women in baseball who generously shared their time and their stories. So helpful. The talented and passionate team here at San Diego Studio. I mean, this really came from everyone. Everyone poured everything they had into this. And really, most
Probably
importantly,
just an
to all of
advertisement,
you
I would assume,
players,
Lyric.
new and old, that will play this mode this year. It's what keeps it going. It's what makes this change possible.
I want to thank my family as well, the women in my family, my wife, my friends, that all are strong punk rockers in their own right, and the way to show the strength.
What the
and
fuck is this?
capability
Yo,
doesn't matter.
what am I looking at? What's up, Brandy?
I also
Appreciate the
wanna
raid, man.
thank,
That was the stream.
everyone in studio, the women in studio that helped drive this along, that help make this a solid foundation to build off of as well. Our external partners that we talk to, the people who tested
I appreciate the hat and the
and gave us
mustache.
that feedback, it has been huge. And in allowing that to, hand that baton to Molly to take it across the finish line and really drive it home. I want to thank you, Molly, for being the person to come in and just take this on. It's been a pleasure to ride in the passenger seat with you, and then as you drive this, it's been huge. And I think I'd be remiss if I didn't thank that young lady from years ago when I was 8 years old who struck me out in an all-star tournament. At that time, I was batting 667, and she put me down in short order. And in that moment, I think I realized anybody can play. It doesn't matter.
Thanks to Molly and Mirka for joining, and we will continue on our Road to the Show journey as we made some cool changes to illustrate how your ball player career begins in Road to the Show with the addition of the Draft Combine.
Okay.
I'm happy to be joined by Justin Rowe, who has been key to this addition. J. Rowe, welcome. Please tell our fans what you do here at SDS.
Yeah, thanks, Ashley. Yeah, I'm a game designer on Road to the Show. This was one of my
How do you get this
first
game?
big projects
It comes
on the
out
Road
next
to the Show
Thursday, and you
team.
buy it.
I was super pumped
Or
to get it
free on
done.
Game Pass.
Also at the studio, having a baseball background, I get to do a lot of the mocap. So very excited to be a part of this team and seeing what we got to do this year.
You heard it here first, folks. Blame J-Ro for all of the super dives he goes all out. J-Ro, having been with SDS for the last few years, you've also come into the studio with a plethora of baseball knowledge, and of course, you played at a high level.
Yeah, no, I was extremely blessed to play at South Carolina over there in the SEC on the East Coast.
Damn!
And I was excited to use my knowledge in baseball and ability here to portray that in the game.
Past, future, and of course you're seeing it here with the Draft Combine. You and the team for over the last couple of years have gone to Phoenix, San Diego to experience this Draft Combine. What was it like?
Yeah, we're so lucky that we were able to go to both the events, not only in Phoenix last year, but in Petco 2 years ago. And there's so many things that we had no idea that were going on at these combine events in terms of measurables, scout day, what scouts are looking for. We got to meet some great people who showed us what the event was all about. And we're not only going to show that this year, but moving forward.
God, that fielding thing
epic.
is sick.
Now, with that type of access, what did you take away from that experience that really helped with this design?
Yeah, there were certain things like the measurable day and the scout day. So not only just the games, but there's a whole day where you get to showcase your abilities in a non-game format. And that's big for scouts to look at players and evaluate them, and you will see that this year in our game.
I bet our fans can't wait to showcase their ball players in the Draft Combine. Now talk us through this experience. What can our fans expect and look forward to as they look to increase their draft position while showcasing their talents?
Yeah, so like I said,
that's crazy.
There'll be 4 days total, and the next 3 days are games. And we have some great visuals and some great gameplay that we'll be showcasing throughout those. You'll see what kind of grades you got, your exit velos, and some fun little things that you can find throughout the mode.
As our ball players are experiencing this Draft Combine, does their draft position change as they're making their way through each day?
I would expect
it to. So your draft position will change, and we'll show that. We have a great pause screen that we're really excited for. We'll just call it the map for now. Shout out to Jimmy. I know he was a big fan of that RPO. Yeah, it'll change day to day, and teams will pop up, and who's interested, who's not interested, and your draft stock will fluctuate as well, depending on how you're doing.
Speaking of gameplay, you are speaking our fans' language here. I heard there are new.
You doing a no money spent beat DD? Mostly, I will do a pack opening night, and then I'll do no money spent.
I know there's been some buzz around the community as they're seeing these in our various trailers. Could you speak more on that?
Yeah, no, it's something we're really excited to get in the game this year.
Meg, I figured it out.
Quick time events for people
I got it to work.
They're big defensive.
My computer is running
that,
Twitch, YouTube, YouTube Short, TikTok stream, and doing 2 separate recordings all at the same
we're
time.
very excited to get that in, and can't wait to hear the
it's fucking working. I figured it out.
I was playing it the other day, and it's literally such a neat experience, making defense even more immersive. Like, I was sweating a little bit out there, making sure I made that play.
Working that sounds good.
Visuals, menus, what's new here?
Yeah, the presentations are new, the art's new. There's so many things that are new with this, especially getting to go there and to see what we want to put in the game and everyone executing it on the team. Really made everything.
You're kind to him, by the way. Thanks, Oki.
Love the fresh look. When fans are
bro's hustling. I'm getting ready for release, bro. I'm gonna fucking die, but I'm gonna be going.
Feel like they are at the combine. That was our goal when designing it. We want you to feel the experience. We want you to feel the pressure, the emotion of everything at this event, and make it feel like you're getting drafted into the MLB, getting ready for that big time moment.
Love it, J-Ro. Thank you so much for your time. Before we go, anyone you would like to shout out or thank?
Oh, there's too many people to shout out, but Road to the Show team. Great work this year. This is my first big feature that I was super pumped.
Yeah, the combine's a W.
Everyone to
honestly, this whole feature premiere has been a W so far.
Dialogue, narrative.
I'm usually pretty tough on it, but
it's a whole team effort.
They're
Thank
cooking.
You so much, J-Ro.
They're cooking.
Yep.
We have covered a lot, but one of the areas that we know our fans love to see updates on is our presentation. And the presentation team, as always, is knocking it out of the park. Pun is always intended. Score bugs, broadcast-styled on-field augmented reality stats, regional broadcast, and, of course, the fan-beloved fan cam. And I'm very, very happy to be joined by Drew to dive into presentation.
Sometimes.
Drew, welcome. How are you? And would you please remind our fans what you do at SDS?
Sure. Thanks for all the kind words, Ashley. Good to be here. Yeah, my name's Drew, and
it's good to be
I'm
here.
the design manager here, and also the product owner of presentation, audio, and commentary.
There we go. We have a lot to talk about, so let's get right into it. With the addition of female row to the show, what does minor league presentation look like and sound like this year?
Yeah, we kind of just wanted to separate the feeling of playing in the minor leagues from the major leagues. So a couple things. We added a minor league broadcaster, Ben Gelman.
Was just terrific for them in the win. 3 hits.
Ben Gelman is back.
Opposing pitchers will want to take note of how she performed in this one. If she puts together games like this frequently,
Why did they make this part so quiet?
So that's exciting.
Sure.
It'll really
Could barely hear it, but that's exciting.
But we also just wanted to make that whole experience feel like you were in the minor leagues. So we have
It'd be the same game. I disagree.
Package as well. You know,
how's everything sounding? This feature premiere has been a W. I'm usually really pessimistic about this stuff, but it's been a W.
Those were the 2 big things, and then you mentioned the female road to the show player. Can't be overstated how much work went in.
Comes out next Thursday night for early access.
From commentary.
How are you playing? I'm not.
So that was a major.
We're watching.
This year.
A labor of love, but an incredible project. And as you mentioned,
the devs are showing off new things.
Ben Gelman be the voice of the minors. You talk about authenticity. Ben has that career of being the voice of the minors for a few years before he joined us here at SDS. Storylines, MLB Season 2, and Derek Jeter. I've been creating and playing in these modes, and every day during the development
Diamond Dynasty
cycle,
feature premieres next Thursday.
Hearing something new. What was the team working on here, Drew?
I mean, really, the most fun part about the storylines modes is just taking the stories that Bob Kendrick tells or Derek Jeter tells and being able
at some point, Viper.
In the field, especially with the Negro Leagues, like he's describing these things that we don't have footage of, and we can kind of recreate some of those moments.
I think the biggest W is that Road to the Show is no longer connected to Diamond Dynasty. There's no more caps in Diamond Dynasty.
Kind of put what they're imagining in their head when Bob's
biggest W in my mind.
Into,
dude, the sinker is going to be so tough to throw.
Created for a lot of moments this year, so there's a lot of unique.
That pinpoint is tough.
Those modes.
Absolutely. The presentation is so incredibly immersive as you pair them with Bob Kendrick stories or Jeter storytelling. It really completes the full picture. Speaking of Jeter storylines, we have a lot of World Series moments in his storyline.
Guys, if you're watching right now, I would really appreciate it if you like the stream and subscribe if you haven't to the YouTube.
Animations and commentary did you and
helps out a ton.
Capture?
Well,
we got a like goal on TikTok too.
Close to 1,000 animations, but we created hundreds of new crowd states because what we really felt like we were lacking were especially like the anticipatory animations and feelings that you get when you're watching a tight baseball game, especially in the World Series or something like that, where you get like more of the nervous, excited, just added nuance.
Oh, they're showing it. Nice.
This guy's so comfortable hitting with 2 strikes, even a good pitch early in the at-bat. If he's not ready to throw, the swing and a miss. Huge strikeout there.
So it's one of those things that's kind of
fans were getting kind of lit right there. I'm not gonna lie.
The crowd, and you can kind of see, oh, okay, they're on the edge of their seats, or they're all standing at the right moments. And then on top of that, we also worked really hard with our major league announce team to
find digital deluxe, play early, then refund. There's a Game Pass thing where you can buy it for like, you can spend like $40, I think, and you get all the digital deluxe rewards, and you get early access through Game Pass, but you don't have to spend the $100 for digital deluxe. Maybe Yoda. I never even thought about that. Their pickoff limit. I can't remember if they added to the game or not. I feel like they did. There's also fake pickoffs though. It's weird. With the new disengage rule. They did add the pickoff limit. All right. Look at Vaughn Grisham. Damn. Yes, you get, if you get the digital deluxe add-on with Game Pass, you do get early access.
So that's something we worked really hard on this cycle.
From the crowd presence to boog and singing.
Crowd presence is a W.
Feeling the nervous excitement.
I'm not gonna lie, I fucked around with the franchise this year, and I had a lot of fun with it, and adding like, you know, the crowd actually being, you know, volatile depending on the situation and stuff.
Our audio team
that can make things pretty lit.
In my opinion,
we're definitely doing a stream franchise this year, 100%.
If you put what they put out in our game and put it up next to a real Major League Baseball,
we will be doing a stream franchise.
So they've pushed that even farther, and then taking it to the next level really by picking out stadium-specific sounds that only play in specific stadiums, and you hear those after a home run or a
crowd work changes the whole atmosphere. Huge W. Facts. I like it. Oh my god. They react based on the play.
Impressed with when it seems like there's more pressure, he's more calm and settles in. He's done an incredible job with runners in scoring position. Most guys, they get a little tight, they start to aim the baseball, but for some reason he gets looser, the ball comes out.
Now this ball is well hit. This one's got a chance. Tattooed and gone.
Oh, that's fucking lit, man. Oh my god.
It's 1-0. That's a fun way to take the lead. Just hit one out of the park.
You get paid to pretend to be this excited? Brother, they don't fucking talk to me. You think they're paying me to do this? Then, brother, you got no fucking idea.
High alert. This is what you live for, to be in the driver's seat here. He got a pitch that he could handle, and he hit that pitch really hard. Nice home run.
I would hope so, Viper.
So it really just kind of brings you to where
this should have already been in the game. I mean, facts, but at least we're getting it now, right?
Be like, oh, cool, they've matched that. So just a.
You think they should add stadium creator to Switch players? Switch would blow up. Your Switch would become a campfire in your hands.
As a whole, and I'm sure as a Mariners fan, you are pumped with the addition of the Kingdom this year. But then, of course, that's not all. The team worked really hard in adding stadium exteriors in the past year, but for MLB The Show 24, there's even more stadium exteriors coming in.
Yeah, first of all, not to date myself, but I grew up to go and do a lot of games in the Kingdom, so personally stoked about that.
Yeah,
we continue to expand the exteriors. It takes quite a bit of work to pump those out, but we're expanding those, and we're going to keep pushing out all the exteriors until we have all of them in the game. We've also done a lot inside the stadiums too, with jumbotrons, laser ribbons, continue to push that stadium atmosphere. So you should really notice a big change with the in-stadium entertainment as well.
That's exciting. I know as a White Sox fan, Guaranteed Rate Field has had their stadium exterior added on top of Wrigley Field if you want to go to the north side of the city. Of course, many more cities joining this feat. And then going back to
we love Wrigleyville. Wrigleyville's a good fucking time, bro. Wrigleyville's fun.
Signs. What can fans of our game look forward to with these presentation of signs throughout the crowds?
Yeah, we were kind of just decided to overhaul how that whole system works, which is cool because now our artists have done a really great job of creating a system where we can query
no clue, Connor,
in the game, which includes created players or any major league player. So we don't need to worry about players getting traded anymore. It's like, oh, we can't use this sign any longer. So it's going to be really cool and just kind of personalize that experience for your favorite team or your created player.
And then last but not least, what can fans look forward to when it comes to presentation themes?
Man, our art team kills it every year. And this year, I feel like I always say this, but they've outdone themselves once again. I counted just now, and I think we have eight presentation themes, which is the most we've ever had. We have the show theme, which we've had now as kind of our national big games, all-star game, opening day, postseason, your DD. And then the return of the regional theme, which has been a big hit, that kind of plays along with who you are in a season mode, your team's regional network, and we've leaned even farther into that with home team branding and stuff. We also talked about it earlier, but a minor league theme to make that feel authentic to the minor league experience. And then we have 4 era specific
home team branding
now to support our storyline modes. And multiple for Derek Jeter because he plays.
They need to add night games.
And technology change.
Night games have always been in the game. What?
Halfway through.
From the minors to the majors and everything in between, you and the presentation team are always rocking it. What are you most excited for fans of our game to experience this year?
We've got way too many people on the Prez commentary audio team for me to go through a bunch of names, and I'll probably forget and kick myself later. So I just want to first thank the audio team. They killed it this year. Commentary, just a massive undertaking for all the stuff we've mentioned in this pod together. Prez Art, bringing it as always, 8 new themes. And then just our general presentation team with new scenes, presentations, cameras. We got Ump Cam this year. We got Show Drone this year. We got a bunch of new fun stuff for everybody.
There we go. From the minors,
that's pretty cool.
Majors, stadium exteriors, fan expressions.
Franchise is going to be fun this year, man. I don't know about like features and stuff like that. Although the thing they showed at first was pretty cool.
Thank you to our amazing team here at San Diego Studio working on
I'm gonna
MLB
enjoy it.
Show
I think
24.
at least one.
And thank you to our fans for watching and listening on both Twitch and YouTube. We are so excited for you to dive into Road to the Show and franchise modes while seeing all new presentations throughout your MLB The Show 24 playing experience, starting on March 19th with early access starting on March 15th. Head over to theshow.com to pre-order now. Of course, we'll catch you all in the Dev Tourney on March 13th, where we will focus on gameplay and good competition. Look out for the live content feature premiere as we cover updates to Diamond Dynasty and more details on live content coming to MLB The Show 24. Tune in on March 14th at 3 o'clock Pacific Time. If you haven't already, you can follow MLB The Show on X, Instagram, Threads, TikTok, and Facebook, and be sure to sign up for the Scouting Report for even more news and free packs starting in April. Because we all love packs on packs on packs, go to theshow.com to sign up.
Cheer!
Now. I want to give a huge shout out to our feature premiere team, Colin, Carson, Steven, and Ramon. None of this happens without all of them. I'm Ashley Sanders, and this has been an MLB The Show 24 feature premiere. I'll see you all next week.
Thoughts? What are our thoughts? I think they cooked a little bit, bro. Not gonna lie.